All right, guys, welcome back. Going to be working on the Valiant today, trying to get the turbo stuff put on. So let's get started. So this is a Dorman set of manifold bolts that's supposed to be for a 2000 Durango 5.9, and there's not enough bolts there, and that came from Rock Auto. So that's the wrong amount of bolts and the wrong thread pitch on the bolts for what it says it's for. So we have stainless steel, and not my favorite choice, but we're going to use stainless steel bolts to put the manifolds back on. And we have new gaskets, so I need to locate the gaskets. I think we're right here. Manifold that fell, bro. Having a moment. All right, Felpro gaskets. Manifold's been cleaned, and we used a 90-degree grinder with a roll lock disc to clean the surfaces up. You're right, this one right here. Yeah? Yep. Gotta go. Gotta go. We got both of our manifolds installed. Stainless steel bolts, which I'm not really a fan of, but they're on. And then Felpro gaskets, just exhaust manifold gasket, just like factory. So next up, we can just go ahead and throw a Y pipe on here. Here's the Y pipe I've shown you before. We wrapped it with the heat wrap. It's just a cheap fiberglass heat wrap from eBay. And wet it down and stretched it as hard as we could, put it over there. And just a tip, wear gloves when you're working with this stuff. That fiberglass will get in your hands. So let's get that put on. Y pipe's connected up, everything's tight, all those bolts, the bolts to the manifold's tight. And now I'm going to go ahead, drill a hole in the fuel block off plate that goes there, and that will be where the oil returns for the turbo.
Drilling the fuel block off plate, drilling a big enough hole that this guy is actually going to slide in there when we're done, and then we'll weld him into place.
Just a lip there.
Yeah, just that inside.
So it'll look like that.
All right.
We have our hole drilled, and as you can see, there's a little lip on that thing, and it just sets in there perfect. So nice tight fit. Just gonna weld a bead around the outside. We'll be done with this little part. We bolt it back on and drop it on the floor. Cool.
GoPro, start recording.
It is recording. It's been recording for 43 seconds.
Look at there, 44 seconds. You got some footage to cut. Yee! Yee.
That is hot. Good Lord.
I bet you could turn it down if you wanted to.
Here's our finished product of our fuel block off plate. The paint there is still drying. And next up, we were going to install the turbo, but I can't find the gasket for the flange here, so looking for that. Okay guys, so the other day I legitimately lost the gasket for the turbo, and this is what it looks like. It's now Friday, and I looked in the house, I looked outside in the garage for like an hour. I called every parts store looking to see if they had anything. Nothing. Had to order it, but it's here now. So I'm going to go ahead and slap the turbo on and see what else we can get done for this video. Just want to get this thing, you know, get as much done as I can, and then move on to the next project. Okay, I have the turbo set on there with all the bolts, but I got 4.5 or 2.5 inch bolts, and they stick out too far. So I'm gonna go ahead and find some 2 inch, put in there. That'll make it look tidier. And I'm gonna go ahead and slide that. As you can see, I went ahead and put the hat on the other day, and the blow off valve's on there, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and get the charge pipe on. All right, looking good. Still missing this clamp though. That piece of silicone didn't come with a clamp for whatever reason, and this was another one that I had laying around. So need that clamp, and need to get them bolts and put that on the list, the 2 inch bolts. And it's looking good. Let's go ahead and slam the radiator in there. Okay, here's my radiator, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but my original plan was to put a piece of aluminum across this, cut a hole in it the size of the fan. That way we could have the whole thing drawing air through it, but we don't have room for that, so we're gonna have to use the factory little zip ties, which I hate, but I'm gonna do that because I hate running stuff through the radiator. And for anybody asking or wondering, this is the same radiator or same radiator fan that's in Big Red. It's been in there for 6 years, almost 8 years actually. It's been in there since 2012. So that fan and Big Red has never died. Those things are like $35, $40 on eBay. Just cheap China stuff. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and mount that radiator fan on there, and I'll show you why I put it where I'm going to have to. So, okay, so the fan is going to be on the front side of the car. Not ideal, but that's where I have room. And also I think that the crossover pipe for the turbo would melt it on the other side. I'll show you that when I get it in. Right now it's just so another thing about this fan, it has a flat spot on the top and bottom, so it literally fits in there perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down in the car, and then I'll show you, you know, the clearance issues and stuff that I'm having. Well guys, I just had myself a moment here. I was putting the zip ties on the fan there, and I said, well, gosh dang, that's where the transmission cooler was gonna go. So, I still think this is necessary to go up here. I think the transmission cooler can fit up and down right here. I think we'll be okay with that. But I'm afraid if I put it up here, look at that crossover pipe. I think that thing would just melt it. In fact, 100% it would melt it. So there's no way the fan can go in here. But I think I'll just measure this out. I got enough room. I mean, it's like, let's check it out. Tape and measure. Messy garage. Okay, so we have like 16 inches there, up and down. About 9 inches side to side. So 9 by 16 approximately, transmission cooler. And also I gotta pull the transmission cooler plugs out of the bottom of the radiator, because those will definitely melt. And I'm hoping that the crossover pipe won't get hot enough to melt the radiator, because it's aluminum. So Might have to put a heat shield in between it, just kind of divide it out there. But that is going to do it for today. So I wanted to see this stuff so I can get a better idea of the downpipe. That's going to be next. I need to work on that, and need to go ahead and get spark plugs cut. I've got those cut to fit ones somebody gave me like 5 years ago, and got to get this wiring done. So gonna make it all look nice. So this stuff here for the FiTech, until this thing's running, I'm just gonna leave it, coil it up, but this will be cut to fit. And in fact, this one here is not even necessary. So I'm gonna call FiTech and see if I can take it apart and take it out without hurting anything. But what this is for is if you have air conditioning, double cooling fans and stuff like that, that's what this wire's for. And I have none of that stuff. So I just want to take it apart, take it off. I want to shorten the coolant temp sensor cord or wire because it's like that much too long. And the O2 sensor wires are too long because I'm going to put the O2s right here. So this needs to be shortened quite a bit. But anyway, like I said, that'll be coiled up until it is all tuned, running good. We don't have any problems like having to send FiTech back. And then I'm going to start on this wiring here with the FiTech. I have a new one of these. It's I think it's this one. It's our little power distribution relay. So that'll go right there. Just need to go to, I think I'm gonna go to like West Marine. They have some really good wiring stuff. And get some nice connectors. We're gonna heat shrink everything, make this thing look nice, but that will probably be the next project unless I get to work on the fuel lines and brake lines. But everything's looking good. Still need to also figure out the coolant thermostat housing. Need one with an angle on it. If you guys have any ideas, these are facing up because it would just give me an idea of the room. I'll roll them over here and put them face down, and same thing with this one. I'll roll it around, that way they're not looking all janky like that. But yeah guys, make sure you give this video a thumbs up because we're getting close. She's looking good. That's gonna do it for me today. I'm gonna start getting ready for the next project, start preparing, and I will see you guys soon.